Are you ready?
Combate global.
Oh, what a punch. What an incredible fight. Can you believe what you just saw? We have a champion.
Welcome back. It is hot in Miami tonight, but what we're not seeing there is the storm. We had to drive through to get here. Be careful on the roads tonight. But it is hot, not just out there in Miami, but here inside Univision Studios. We're ready to kick it off with our first fight of the night. And it is, whenever you see somebody looking for their first MMA victory and the other one making their MMA debut, it's the definition of anything can happen.
And they're leaving it all inside La Jaula. We stated earlier, our women come to fight, whether they're making a debut or they've been already. You can expect a lot of action in there. We're going to see with Violeta Mendoza taking on Andrea, Filipa, all the way from Portugal.
Now, it isn't just Brazil that speaks Portuguese and they have their fighters. Portugal as well stepping up. 2 fighters tonight from Portugal, including our kickoff fight. And you just said it, the ladies come to bring it every single time. And the stand-up tonight might be the key. Who can walk through the fire and not back down. It might be it if you look at the head-to-head. You see the age. Mendoza, of course, 14 years older than Andrea Filipa. A little bit of a height advantage, also reach advantage for Mendoza. We'll throw it out to Beatrice Callis, who will get us ready to go.
Y arrancamos con mucha más acción, las reglas de la jaula. 3 vueltas de 5 minutos, 3 jueces, utilizando el sistema de 10 puntos. Esta noche coronamos una campeona en la división peso mosca tonight. We crown a champion in the flyweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Lorenzo Toledo, Eliseo Rodríguez y Jonathan Lane. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un ¡Combate global! In the blue corner, en la esquina azul, wearing black, vestida de negro, su peso oficial 114.6 libras, her official weight 114.6 pounds. Tonight, she enters la jaula to make her professional debut. Esta noche entra a la jaula para hacer su debut profesional. De Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua, pura mexicana, Violeta Mendoza. In the red corner, en la esquina roja, wearing yellow, vestida de amarillo, su peso oficial 114.8 libras, her official weight 114.8 pounds. Tonight, she enters la jaula with 1 defeat. Esta noche entra a la jaula con una derrota. Fighting out of Cine, Portugal, Andrea Filipa. El referee, Tracy Moorhead.
My judge here. Fighter, are you ready? Fighter, are you ready? Touch gloves if you want. Fight!
And we are underway. Round number 1. Violeta Mendoza in the black, taking on Andrea Filipa from Portugal in the yellow. Both ladies looking for their first win in MMA. Filipa 0-1. Violeta making her professional debut.
And not holding anything back right from the start, Jimmy. The kicks there for Violeta to start it off, and Andrea searching for that first victory. She's had that jaula experience already. It's her second time around here. So she has those butterflies set aside, unlike Mendoza. But here's the age, Jimmy, 37. And compared to Andrea's, she's in her 20s.
Yeah, but also that maturity of Mendoza. Been around the block, been through a lot more in life, not just in La Jaula. That can help you kind of settle down a little bit when it comes to combat sports. But Right now, it's Filipa staying in the face of Mendoza, not giving her a lot of space to work with.
I.e. Randy Couture, right? He started later in his life as an mixed martial. Oh, great spinning back fist. Not holding anything back, Jimmy.
Yeah, I believe it was 33 years old. The natural started. Won a 2-fight tournament in the UFC, and of course defeating Vitor Belfort. I could go on and on about the natural.
On and on.
And we're seeing almost complete control of the real estate so far from Filipa from Portugal. Mendoza in the black right now, content to play the outside, but Mendoza a background in Taekwondo. She has a blue belt in Jiu-Jitsu, so she likes to stand up and strike, cut a lot of angles. You see the spinning kick there.
I'm really liking Mendoza. She's being creative with it. She's not holding, especially if it's your debut. You know, you tend to hold back and stick to your bread and butter, but she's not afraid of throwing in those spinning back fists and kicks.
You know, it's kind of one or the other, right? Either you don't do enough because you're kind of holding back, or you throw the kitchen sink in the first round and forgetting there's another 10 minutes to go. The person who controls the pacing so often has the advantage early on in their career.
You don't want to be that person that looks back at the video and say, why didn't I do that when I thought I was going to do it, but I held back, right?
Yeah, spinning shot again from Mendoza. Doesn't land, but that willingness to throw it. Filipa's got to keep her hands up at all times. So far, she's doing nice right hand from Filipa.
She's throwing in those punches with her head down. I don't want to do that much here, especially since Violeta, the taller of the two here.
Run into a lot of uppercuts.
Yep.
Uppercuts, knees right through the center. Designed to work when your head goes down. Filipa, of course, training with the MMA Dogs. She won a kickboxing title in Portugal. Very confident with her stand-up.
Sure is. Does have that great stand-up. Gotta be careful putting in the head when you throw it. She does it again.
Nice left hook. Every time she's done it, though, she's landed, so she's being rewarded for that risk.
Switching stance.
Now Mendoza, despite being the taller fighter, she's not really using those rangy tools. The
No,
jab, the
no
lead
jab,
kick.
yep.
Yep.
The kicks, yeah, right, you mentioned. I don't think, Jimmy, we're going to see any groundwork here from these two.
No attempts at all so far. No commitment to the takedown at all.
Not even oh, I spoke too soon, right? Maybe not the
A little bit of a clinch,
yeah,
but no,
clinch.
but
Hey,
once again, no level changing commitment,
yeah,
right?
They teased me
They
there.
heard you doing
yeah,
it.
They teased me.
Mendoza now, a fighter from Mexico, trying to work the clinch. Pulled her opponent right on top of her. Some inexperience there, but some inexperience too from Filipa, not able to hold the position. And now Mendoza's on top.
Now we get the groundwork. Let's see what they're all about. Primarily, they got that strong background in the stand-up game, but as we've seen, you start a lot of fighters, the boxing, the taekwondo, the karate, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and they incorporate that jiu-jitsu, just like you said in that 3 rounds of Senior Campbell, Jimmy.
You gotta be at least good on the ground these days, if not excellent.
Or if you have that, just that right takedown defense for you to keep the fight. I always have the 2 perfect examples, Robbie Lawler and Amanda Nunes. You know, when they switched camps, those guys you just couldn't drop them at all. They had that fight on their feet.
King of sprawl and brawl.
That's all it is.
Robbie Lawler, Chuck Liddell, and they made that their bread and butter. Mendoza now trying to work from the clinch position. Trying to impose her will. She's the bigger fighter. As we pointed out, she's the older fighter, more mature, a little bit more experienced in life, not necessarily in la jaula. Filipa, the younger fighter, but not going to get much done up against the fence with 10 seconds left. Mendoza trying to finish strong. And that's the end of round number 1.
Break.
Ok, siéntate, respira primero. Jala aire y suelto. Ahí puedes parar el tiempo, ¿ok? ¿Sí? Pues. Respira otra vez. Ok, mira, el que está siendo efectivo es su overhand. Entonces puedes fintear tu jab o suéltalo a distancia, cerca de ella, para que te lance el overhand. Hazla fallar y ataca. Eso va a entrar, ¿ok? Sí va a entrar con él. Tus giros están siendo buenos. Ajá, sí, ya, pum, pica poquito. Sí, ya habíamos visto eso de inclinarnos un poquito para que suelte ese overhand. Lo suelta, falla y contra.
Entra, mas não faças ela fazer falhar, ok? Tá?
You see it. Round 2, touch him up again. Fight!
Welcome back to Combate Global, round number 2 underway. Violeta Mendoza from Mexico in the black, taking Andrea. Filipa from Portugal in the yellow. Your Spanish much better than mine.
And I was going to throw into my Portuguese, you know. My mom taught me a little bit. She lived out there, so.
There you go.
I get a little bit. But yeah, Violeta's corner, what they were saying is what you had mentioned, right? What we talked about. Use more of that jab to set up the overhand right. She hasn't been using it here. Use that reach.
Throwing a lot of spinning attacks, but you know, if you don't throw that setup, you don't fool your opponent with something. A lot of times those attacks are just a little too easy to see. We saw that in round number 1. Filipa 0-1 in MMA, looking for her first win. She saw those big strikes coming. A reminder, we have open scoring here at Combate Global. We should know the score of the first round in a minute. The corners will know as well, so they can adjust accordingly.
Right. And what we talked about, how she was coming in with her head down, so that's what the corner was saying, is set her up with a jam so you can make her fail, come in with a head down, you're able to catch her with that overhand right. Those little mistakes, Jimmy.
And here is the scorecard of Violeta Mendoza, 10-9 on all 3 judges' scorecards. Takedown certainly helped to solidify things. Good top pressure. And this clinch, she's kind of controlling the position. Not doing a lot with it, but showing the judges that she's the aggressor. She's the one controlling
and
the real
the
estate.
spinning back fist, the spinning kicks, that does some justice.
They sure do look good, don't they?
They look pretty. they look very impressive.
And another thing, the size disparity here. I thought Filipa landed some good punches in round number 1, but not really backing Mendoza up. They weren't the kind of punches that seem to have that much of an effect.
What I'm curious to see is that recovery time.
Yeah.
You know, because of that age difference here. Who comes out on top here in the second round?
Yeah, I love it when you look at me when you say age.
I
start
look
saying
at you,
that,
Jimmy.
You kind of did. You kind of did. I'm just just throwing it out that I'm a decade
We're not
older.
that far apart, Jimmy.
All right. Anyway, but I see your point for sure. It's about how you recover, how much do you get back in between rounds. As you get older,
yeah, let's face it. I mean,
you're striking with the kids these days. I'm grappling with them. It just gets harder and harder.
Gets harder and harder, and you start finding out things that hurt that you never knew would hurt, right?
Pulling muscles you didn't know existed. And now finally, Filipa able to punch her way out of that position, trapped up against La Jaula. And I was about to say, she lacks those little footwork tricks up against the fence. She's not able to circle out very effectively. Had to fight her way out. Now let's see what she can do with it. 2 minutes, 19 seconds left to go in round number 2.
Violeta, though, not doing that jab. She threw one flashy maneuver there, but that's much more. Most of it has been spent in that clinch in the opening round.
Man, she's so much taller. Lead jab, lead foot have been fairly inactive.
Has that height.
There's another spinning move. And
good way of Andrea reading that.
good job getting underneath that spinning attack. Without the jab setup, it's just too easy to see coming right now. But you see a little bit of frustration now.
Yep.
Filipa saying, I'm not staying trapped up against the fence. I'm not losing more minutes of this fight.
We're taking it to the center. Force that strike. There she got. Did get cat.
Yeah, did clip her right above the ear.
Didn't come in as strong, but she got hit right straight down the middle. Great teep from Andrea.
Yeah, nice kick right through the center. Front snap kick, and Filipa trying to finish strong. Minute 15 left in round number 2. Close round in round number 1. I think we have a close one here as well. It might be who finishes harder in this last round. He's right into the triangle.
She tagged her though, Jimmy, with that kick.
She did, but attempted the triangle and
just didn't have a lot of power from the hips.
You also got to break down the posture. You see the little tactical mistakes on the ground. And now Mendoza, knee across the belly to full mount with 50 seconds left. That's a lot of time to work.
A lot of stuff here to put down the elbow, ground and pound right here. Perfect, good way of Andrea positioning her hip, but making it very difficult. You got to fight as a lot taller, has longer legs than you.
And a lot bigger as well.
Very, very difficult position for Andrea here.
Right now, Filipa just trying to hold on.
Those shots, though, they're just not coming in with a lot of power, Jimmy.
Yeah, so far Filipa able to keep Mendoza off balance or close. Now sitting up, landing some good ground and pound. Trying to move. Only 15 seconds left in the round. But she has to bump and move. Referee taking a very close look at it.
She has to show it, Jimmy.
And it's over with 10 seconds left to go.
Wow. By the skin of her teeth.
We just heard the clapper for the final 10 seconds. Mendoza turning it up and getting the TKO stoppage in round number 2. Filipa disappointed, but no way out of that
She
position.
just had about 5 seconds left just to sustain that. But she was showing already. She was turtling up.
Here's my question to you, Rodolfo. She had shown a little more. Could have kept going in that fight. Didn't move at exactly the right time. We'll get the official announcement when we come back. Stay with us at Combate Global. And welcome back to Combate Global. It was a second round finish with seconds left to go. Beatriz Callas, make it official.
El tiempo oficial, 4 minutos y 52 segundos del segundo round. The official time, 4 minutes and 52 seconds of round number 2. And the winner, by technical knockout, la ganadora por knockout técnico, Violeta Mendoza.
You have victories in MMA. You only get one first victory. It feels so sweet. A TKO for Violeta Mendoza. See how she got it done.
Beautifully made right here, Violeta. I really thought she was going to bank at that overhand right, but it was actually on the contrary. Took her opponent straight down to the ground. And you see Andrea's here. She needs to work on that ground game. Just a couple of more seconds. Just move around on your hips out there. But you're giving it away by crossing your arms like that. That's just like a come and rescue me, ref. You're giving it away with that.
A rookie move. She will learn more. She will get better. May see her again in La Hala, but tonight belongs to Violeta Mendoza from Mexico. Let's look at the numbers, and they are one-sided, to say the least, Rodolfo.
The punches overall, of course, heading to Mendoza for the advantage there. And look, she took a lot of chances here with a spinning back fist, the spinning kicks. She was all around. She wanted that victory more than Andrea.
A great start to our card, but more to come. Stay tuned for more Combate Global. In case you forgot where we are, the beautiful skyline of Miami, the beach, the colors, the ladies, they are all here tonight. But in La Hala, we have the action, and this is one of those, when you look at the numbers, not that meaningful, because it's beyond the numbers. These are not beginners when it comes to combat sports. Maybe in MMA, but a very experienced kickboxer in Diego Freitas. His time in the ring means everything. Was Mourdoch ready? That is the question. Beatriz, get us going.
Entrando a la jaula, Diego Freitas.
So far tonight, Portugal 0-1. Freitas looking for redemption, fighting out of Lisbon. When I talk about the numbers not being that important, he's 0-1 in MMA. Oh, he's a beginner. He is not an extensive kickboxing background. 32-9 as a kickboxer, a ton of experience. Has a championship in K1, also a European championship. This guy is dynamite on his feet.
This guy, I'm really looking forward to this guy. I saw some of his videos, and boy, this guy has amazing kickboxing. And, you know, this is though where we find out if he's built for MMA. Because he's taking on a guy, for the most part, has that background in grappling and wrestling. So how do you push him up? How do you keep him in bay? You're going to have to use a lot of jabs, a lot of tips, a lot of kicks to set him up and keep them in the fight that you want, and that's stand-up game.
You and I talk about it all the time, where it's a kickboxer, oh, they just need to learn their grappling. No, they have to learn how to kickbox for MMA. We're going to find out how well Freitas has transitioned tonight in La Jaula. That is a gigantic question wrapped in the Portuguese flag. He's ready to go, but is his opponent? We're about to find out.
Su oponente, Luis Mourdoch!
I know you thought with that name, Rodolfo, no way this guy's Latin. No way on earth. You were so wrong.
I never thought that, Jimmy. Come on. Did you not look at the flag?
I certainly did. That's right. He is 0-0 making his professional MMA debut, but he won a belt in the Vigilante promotion. Trains with the Goat Shed Academy. That, of course, is amateur, where he was undefeated 4-0. And that's the difference, right? You're making your pro debut. You got a lot of amateur fights under your belt. You can really get a lot of cage time, a lot of ring time before your pro debut. That's the case for Mourdoch tonight.
And actually, he was scheduled to do his pro debut earlier this year, but that fell through. So mentally, at least he's been there.
Yeah.
But look, now you're in the big stage. You're getting your opportunity, and it's a whole different ball game here tonight against Mourdoch. He's been training with the Goat Shed Academy. Of course, we've seen many of those fighters, including the great Jimmy Pace Jr. had a phenomenal knockout last week, looking to see what this man is all about.
That's right, wrapped in the Cuban flag, representing Miami, Florida, Luis Mourdoch, 6 years younger than his opponent, and a slight reach advantage, with the height advantage going to the kickboxer from Portugal. Beatriz, get it going.
Continuamos con mucha más acción. Este duelo en la división peso pluma. We continue with much more action this bout. In the flyweight division, los jueces son the judges are Theodore Crocker, Lorenzo Toledo y Eliseo Rodríguez. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. In the blue corner, en la esquina azul, wearing yellow, vestido de amarillo, su peso oficial, 144.6 libras, his official weight, 144.6 pounds. Tonight, he enters la jaula with one defeat. Esta noche, entra a la jaula con una derrota. De Lisboa, Portugal, Diego Freitas. En la esquina roja, in the red corner, wearing black, vestido de negro, su peso oficial, 145.4 libras, his official weight, 145.4 pounds. Tonight, he enters la jaula to make his professional debut. Esta noche, entra a la jaula para hacer su debut profesional. Directo de Cuba and repping the 305, Miami, Florida, Luis Mourdoch. Referee, Raúl Borrata.
Obedezcan mis órdenes y protéjanse en todos momentos. Obey my commands and protect yourselves at all times. Toquen guante, regresen a su esquina.
The kickboxer from Portugal, Diego Freitas, in the yellow. Luis Mourdoch from Miami, Florida, of Cuban heritage, in the black trunks. Round number one, we're underway.
You know, when I see a kickboxer and that person who has a background in wrestling, I always get the chills, like, please don't go for the takedown right from the beginning.
And a little bit of a dive for the takedown, but Freitas able to angle out.
Because you know what happens, Jim.
You know, I know exactly what happens. It looks like style versus style out there. Freitas taking his time, looking for the setup. Beautiful right hand.
Now Ray trying to set up. He tried to go there for a beautiful belly-to-belly suplex. That didn't come through.
Body lock again, and he gets it.
Put. Beautiful.
Wow.
You know, that is extremely hard in MMA.
I was about to say, that is hard to pull off.
That's beautiful freestyle wrestling. And even in wrestling itself, it's completely really hard.
Amazing stuff from the beginning, but what does he do with it?
Right.
That is the question. Mourdoch trying to keep Freitas down. Can't do it. Freitas, good job getting back to his feet.
Mourdoch, though, just looks in phenomenal shape.
Watch him up, bro.
Incredibly strong. You can tell kind of the style difference. As we know, Mourdoch, the grappler, he is built like a wrestler. Freitas, you know, a bit leaner, taller, has more of that striker's build, a little bit more relaxed. A lot of snap on his punches.
This is not the position right here where Freitas wants to be, try to out-muscle each other.
Question here, of course, if you're Mourdoch, is how much energy you can expend in these positions.
I mean, that belly shot, that suplex just took a lot out of it. He tried to go for it twice.
Beautiful! Man. What we call a Japanese wizard. Wow! Beautiful arm throw. Impressive takedown so far from Luis Mourdoch. The fight from here in Miami, Florida. Crowd behind him 100%.
There's no doubt, I mean.
When's the last time you saw one of those in MMA? Been a long time.
It's been quite some time. But Freitas here, this is where it shows if he's done that work. You know, once you get a wrestler on your back and he's on top of you and you just transition into an MMA from a kickboxer, it's almost nearly impossible to get out of this position.
It is very difficult.
Unless you put that work in.
Yeah, to relieve that physical pressure is so difficult. And also, the difficulty for Mourdoch early on in his career, making his pro debut, is how do you stay relaxed, right? How do you let those punches go as the crowd chants
He's trying to go for the mount already,
right?
Jamie. He's trying to find the right position.
A little bit rookie, though. You don't want to step over too early for that mount. Want to let it play out.
I do like his composure, though. Yep. He's really calm, very relaxed, not getting too excited about where he has his opponent. He reminds me of that's where Jorand will be fighting here in just a few. The next couple of weeks, he's competed already. Very similar styles, powerful wrestlers, and once he gets you on the ground, that ground and pound is just, man, once you're there, good luck.
Freitas using what we call the Z-guard. Trying to keep Mourdoch away from him. Mourdoch staying relaxed, unloading with that right hand.
Great stuff. Really impressed. And he's even trying to cradle him at one point there, Jimmy.
Here's coaches from the Goat Shed Academy imploring their man to keep the pressure on. Minute 35 left in round number 1. Freitas still in the fight, hasn't eaten a lot of gigantic shots, but has yet to find a way out of this position.
Well, good way of positioning himself all the way towards La Jaula. He could use this to post himself and try to get this fight to the feet.
Great job by Mourdoch, keeping Freitas flat.
Now he's in trouble here, giving away his back. Never want to do that against a wrestler.
Those jackhammer right hands over and over. Freitas just trying to.
And see, that's where you know where he's using his skills right here, right? Look at the wrist. Try to grab those wrists to push up. But we're not seeing that from Freitas.
Yeah, Freitas right now in a position to pop back to his feet.
He can do it right here. This is the right upper. Then there he is, little by little. But Mourdoch, he just has that leg, has that hip, not letting him go. And then another.
Beautiful throw yet again. Man. Freitas trying to get back to his feet and was there briefly. 35 seconds left to go in round number 1.
He's like a spider web. You're not going to get out of this one.
Beautiful sweep attempt, but not able to capitalize on it. Freitas, the kickboxer, seeing this round not go his way, to say the least.
And again, he's trying to take this fight all the way to La Jaula, and he got side control, trying to get that side control, Jim.
Yeah, Freitas doing an okay job of staying in at least half guard, but in the final 10 seconds of round number 1, the wrestler from Miami via Cuba having everything go his way.
Él quiere quedarse parado. Respira. Sácate el mouthpiece para que tome agua bien. Sácate el mouthpiece. Tome agua. Deja que respire. Respira. Ya te recuperaste. Mira, mami, lo que te estoy diciendo. Cuando tenga la rodilla abajo, cógele el underhook aquí arriba, a esta parte del cuerpo, y dale el underhook para ti. Y dale el codo. Elévate cuando estés en abajo, ya quiere darse por vencido. lo cojo con un poquitico más de potencia. Vamos a perrearlo un poquitico más en esa posición. Ok, escucha la esquina, vamos. Dale, coge eso ahí, coge.
And we are back and getting ready for round number 2. You see the intensity in the eyes of Luis Mourdoch. There's his opponent, Diego Freitas from Portugal. The kickboxer was on his butt almost all of round number 1. On your right in the black trunks, the grappler from Cuba. Another takedown. Exactly what Freitas did not want to see happen 15 seconds into round number 2.
Jimmy Mourdoch's corner just pretty much said that Freitas lost this fight already, and he knows it. And he's following the game plan. Take him straight down to the ground with your wrestling, but have more power with those elbows. That's gonna win you the fight.
Look briefly to step over into mount, but right now Freitas able to keep things in half guard. But that's about as good as it's gotten for Freitas. Is half guard, maybe full guard. Right. Not a lot of explosion back to the feet. No real submission attempts. We're seeing that inexperience.
Enough to survive.
Yes, enough that he's still in the fight. And we're still looking at round number 2, but we're seeing that inexperience on the ground from Freitas.
It's there. You know, sure, you have enough to escape, but that's about it. And when you get a stand-up guy that does that, I mean, listen, kudos to him, right? Because it takes time. It takes a lot of time to really get a good understanding of this. And he's listening to his corner, and he said, hit him with the elbow. That's what's going to make the difference. Just add more power to it. But when you make that transition, Jimmy, it takes a lot of time. And even if you've been training for a year or not, it's just a whole different ballgame.
Well, one question I have, though, is you're not facing a submission specialist. You're facing a great wrestler. Sell out, turn your back, pop back to your feet. You're not dealing with a world-class jiu-jitsu artist. Take some risks. He's probably not going to submit you. Take some risks in order to get out of this position. Is this what you're telling him if you're his corner? And by the way, he's right in front of his corner.
He's right there. Yeah. And this is the great opportunity where you want to be at, so you're able to hear your corner.
If you're taking on a wrestler, okay, right, take a risk, get up to your feet. You know, the chances he catches something pretty slim, go for it. And so far, we haven't seen that sellout. Of course, we have open scoring. Luis Mourdoch, no surprise here, 10-9, all 3 judges' scorecards. I agree, I didn't see a 10-8 in round number 1. I saw a dominant 10-9 for sure.
Well, there it is. Now, Freitas is attempting to take this fight right back. He needs to take this. The thing is, he just can't break that grip from Mourdoch no matter where he goes.
Back to his feet, but that body lock, to your point, never broken.
And you break it off using your hips. You just don't stand up there and dance with him, you know?
Angle and move, that is key. And for people who don't know and don't study, you know, amateur sports, Cuba, fantastic wrestling team, best wrestling team in Latin America, fantastic judo as well. They have some great grappling in Cuba. What's his name? Yoel Romero, one of their top athletes. They have some great wrestlers.
Hector Lombard.
Yeah, Hector Lombard.
Judoko.
Incredible judo.
Yep.
No surprise here that the Cuban comes in with a great takedown. And he is keeping the pressure on. And as we, talked about in the beginning, Rodolfo, the difference in builds. You got a strong guy on top of you. He is built like a freight train.
Ataca más o los paro.
So far, not a lot of offense from Freitas from his back. Hanging on, staying in the fight, but that won't get you the win in La Jaula. Minute 28 left to go in round number 2. And once again, it is all Luis Mourdoch.
Total domination, Jimmy, from Mourdoch.
No big strikes, not selling out to try and get the finish necessarily.
None whatsoever. Yeah. It's the same thing that we saw in the first round is exactly what we're seeing in the second here from Freitas. Not making any adjustments whatsoever.
You gotta wonder what skill set he has from his back. He's tried everything he knows how to do. It is not working with a minute left to go in round number 2.
Now, the question is, at the corner, you have finish it, right? I think that should be the frustration at the corner of Mourdoch. And there's the elbows, those are hammer fists. They are coming with a lot of power.
It could be, his corner saying, look, it's your first fight. It's, your professional MMA debut. Don't do anything stupid. You're way ahead. Keep the win. And you know, it's two kinds of mentalities. You get ahead, finish the guy. Or if you get ahead, stay ahead. Make sure you don't fall behind. Yeah. It's a very mature game plan so far.
Segundos.
10 seconds left to go in round number 2, and it is all Luis Mourdoch finishing with a flurry of punches. The Cuban way ahead.
¡Paren!
Jogo chato.
Si la pelea sigue igual, la va a parar. Pero estoy bien.
Olha, temos que não retirar este lado. Vamos tentar tudo, está a ver? Agora, este jogo assim do chão está difícil. Tu, quando ele ficar assim, tenta dominar só os bíceps, está bem? Se ele conseguir pôr no chão outra vez, tenta-lhe dominar os bíceps, tá? Para ele não conseguir pôr... Mas não está acertando nenhuma, não estás marcado nem nada. Vai, ver se metemos um joelhinho agora na entrada, tentar fintar para ver se tem coisa, se eu entra, tá?
Tiene que caer la punta del codo para que pueda acertar el paisano.
Fuera, amigo.
El codo paisano.
It is the start of round number 3. Luis Mourdoch in the black, representing Cuba and Miami, Florida. Diego Freitas in the yellow from Lisbon, Portugal. Freitas, the kickboxer. Well, Luis Mourdoch, the grappler. Seen some outstanding takedowns from him. Luis Mourdoch making his pro debut, and it has been one way because of exactly that. The takedown of Luis Mourdoch on point. And once he's been on top, Freitas just not having the guard necessary to take care of business. Now some jackhammer left hands. Let's see if the wrestler can get it done. Now both hooks in, well, one hook. Freitas still struggling, trying to stay in the fight, but no offense of his own at all.
None whatsoever, Jimmy. You know what's cool? I like that low kick that Mourdoch has thrown twice to set up the takedown. Very low. It's not your typical cap. It's just something new.
Just enough to create that distraction.
Right. And again, those shots, hammer fists, elbows.
Open scoring here in Combate Global. We got 1-10-8. Judge number 3 calling the last round a 10-8. Luis Mourdoch up 2 rounds to none over Diego Freitas. It is all or nothing in round number 3, but this is a terrible start. Once again, easy double leg. And Rodolfo, if you're taking on a superior grappler, one thing you can do is, okay, make him try twice. Make him, use some energy to take you down. And so far, Mourdoch hasn't had to expend very much. Easy takedowns.
Well, Freitas, the big mistake is he went right straight at him, right? Yep. You didn't use your footwork here. You didn't use your kicks to push him off.
Have you seen more one-sided stats in terms of punches? 83
Jesus
now
Christ, wow, look at that.
to 5 from
Holy
Freitas.
cow.
An absolute wipeout. Luis Freitas can say he has 100% accuracy, but when it's 7 for 7, that doesn't say a whole lot.
Referee just gave the fighters there to do something.
Looks like Mourdoch is doing plenty. Once again, not exactly trying to end the fight. Hasn't sold out for any submissions,
That's just textbook wrestling right here. Using the hip, turning around.
Turn and burn, get behind your opponent every chance you get.
That's just textbook.
And one hook in for Luis Mourdoch, training out of the Goat Shed Academy. A bunch of warriors coming out of that camp. You know he's well trained. Haven't seen any problems, by the way, also, Rodolfo, with his cardio. Not breathing heavy.
None. He has that stamina. But wrestlers. I mean, come on. These guys could go on and on and on.
And they've been in wrestling position. He hasn't had to kickbox very much. Hasn't had to get out of his comfort zone. Looks like he can do this all day. I mean, he only has to do it for another 2 minutes. We're in round number 3 in a fight that Luis Mourdoch has absolutely dominated in his professional debut.
Wrestlers just have one of the, top-notch condition. They're just ready for this. That's why when you make that transition from wrestling to MMA,
Used to hitting the gas.
Yeah.
Yep, and not taking it off.
That's it. But I just love how he positions his head. He's done two things that really just point out, putting his knee on Freitas' elbows to position himself, using his head right there underneath his chin.
Whoa. Looking for a stand-up here.
He's doing enough stuff. He's moving around.
Mourdoch was doing enough to not warrant a stand-up, but here we are.
Well, this is Freitas' chance right here. He got 1:11, and once again, left himself open. Yeah, just left himself open.
Big kick, swung for the fences, didn't work, and all Mourdoch had to do was change levels and get an easy double leg.
And you know what, too, Jimmy, from Freitas is his stand-up. He's too tall. You don't want to go stand too tall against a wrestler. You want to go down. You want to be at his level.
Yeah, trying to work rubber guard a bit here, but doesn't look like he has quite the flexibility to get into what they call mission control. Mourdoch knows just has to burn another 37 seconds, round number 3. Freitas, so far, very disappointing night, and one opportunity to stand up that I thought was a little questionable. Could not capitalize on it. Mourdoch not letting him off the hook.
I think he's going to jump in there any second now. Try to go for an axe kick in that position.
A little bit of an axe kick, but Mourdoch staying close to the legs. There's the clapper, 10 seconds left. Will the Cuban, who is way ahead, finish with a flurry?
That's what he wanted.
Good overhand left in a fight. And he will remember forever as his pro debut. And it is D for dominance.
That guy's a beast.
Wow. Sky is the limit. The crowd here in Miami waving the Cuban flag. For Luis Mourdoch fighting out of Cuba. Excellent performance from this young man.
Very impressed with his ground game, his wrestling. Wow. Powerful dude.
Freitas joining the Cauliflower Club. That's what Luis Mourdoch will do for you. We will make it official when we come back to Combate Global. You visualize your first fight, you visualize your debut, your first win. Looks exactly like that. Beatrice, let us know how it went down.
After 3 rounds of much more action, this is the final decision. Después de 3 vueltas de mucha más acción, esta es la decisión oficial. Judge Croger and Judge Toledo turned identical scorecards of 30-27, and Judge Rodriguez 26-30. All in favor of the winner, todos a favor del ganador, by way of unanimous decision, por decisión unánime. Luis Mourdoch!
No surprise there, Luis Mourdoch. An absolute wipeout in his pro debut. He wasn't out in his comfort zone for 10 seconds in that entire fight combined.
Wow, that's just impressive. You got some suplexes there that are nearly impossible to achieve in mixed martial arts. The ground and pound. He popped his ear. He has a big, huge cauliflower there. They got to pop. They came in, those elbows, those fists just came in with a whole lot of power. This guy is business inside La Jaula. I like the way how he came in. It's almost like he faked the takedown, went in for that hook, but beautifully executed. Look at that. It's really, really hard.
Yes, Rodolfo, yeah.
Oh,
Commitment.
man. And it's just amazing stuff from this guy. And if you clearly saw when they announced the name that this guy could go for another 20 rounds, it's like he wasn't even break a sweat.
Not even breathing hard. And how scary is he going to be when you add those finishing tools to the arsenal? You tell he has the takedown. Doesn't have the submission game yet. Hasn't quite figured out the ground and pound mechanics. When he does, Rodolfo, wow.
Savage.
Wow.
I like the way how he set up with the left hook, and then the right, he tried to bring him right down. I mean, it's just great stuff. Textbook. Using those little tricks. See how the low kick, not your typical low kick that you see, but enough to do to set him up and break him down to the floor. Exceptional. Really impressed with this young man. Really good stuff from this guy.
Beautiful.
He means a lot of business.
Beautiful timing on the takedowns, commitment on the throws, ground and pound getting better and better, and fitness beyond belief. Because he was in some fatiguing positions.
He has that knockout power.
Yeah.
Once he tunes up a little bit of that striking, and he has more confidence, because you saw that once he has to build that confidence with striking, he has it with the wrestling, but with the striking, boy.
93-8 in terms of punches. Actually landed one more kick than the kickboxer. Total strikes, an absolute wipeout, and 7 takedowns. That's exactly how you get it done if you're Luis Mourdoch. The Goat Shed has another murderer with an incredibly high ceiling, but we're just getting started. And La Jaula, don't go anywhere. And welcome back in La Jaula inside Univision Studios. To hear the beats of Los Knockouts, now the beats of Jimmy Smith, Rodolfo Roman. We keep it going. We got a little bit of this right now, man. Watching that debut, Luis Mourdoch. It's so amazing for us to see a fighter whose ceiling is so high so early. That was an incredible performance.
I was impressed. Again, we talk about some of those maneuvers that he did in there are very, very difficult to do. And he did it with a lot of confidence and exceptionally excellent.
Yeah, well, you always want that water cooler moment. You want to be the person everybody's talking about on Monday. Well, who is that? That's Slick J, Justin Vasquez. He does that better than anybody. He's fighting next week.
I'm excited for this for Jimmy Justin. You know, this is the fight that was supposed to happen back in March. However, for unforeseen circumstances, Justin ended up getting his opponent that day. He got that knockout highlight reel, which, by the way, in the 305, he's the talk of the town, he told me. He even went to a restaurant. They're like, hey, he's the guy with the knockout. No lie, true story. And now Roberto Romero, a guy who is durable. This is a different fighter for Justin, all right? He could take a punch. He'll come right back with 3 or 4. So the chances of doing that again are not that very high. But we will have a good fight between these two guys because they both love to stand and bang.
Here's the one thing, is you get that big knockout, you start wanting that feeling again. Might we see that tonight? Briseño versus Ureña. Both guys very proud of their finishing ability. I think if they won by decision tonight, they'd be a little upset. They want to make a statement.
They want it. This is an opportunity to do so here tonight with such the lights, everything looking at you. Everything's on the court right now for you.
Yeah, that's right. And Jade, of course, the kickboxer from France. Great stand-up, great combinations, great speed. But her opponent, Perez, last time in here, she had everything to lose. She was 3-4 trying to get to 500. She made it, and the way she did it, I rewatched that fight. You know, you and I called it earlier this year. I rewatched that fight. She looked like a dog going after the last bone in the cupboard. She was tenacious.
And that, I think, that gives an opportunity for Jade to get that TKO because you could leave that opportunity for mistakes. Because you know that Katie's going to bring it all. But when you do, there are opportunities there where you can take advantage of. So maybe we do get that finish. But Katie's, like you said, she's a mad dog in there. And she goes for the head. She wants to get that victory. And she's coming off that first stoppage in her professional career. Most of her wins have been by way of submission. So she's riding on that momentum.
That's going to be a theme tonight, is how aggressive can you be without letting your opponent land that counter shot that can be the end tonight. Look, in La Jaula, one thing that makes it different is we always try to bring it. The fighters always come with everything they have, but we're also dealing with professionals. And anytime you're dealing with a professional setting, that counter shot can light you up and knock you out. And that could be the difference tonight because we're seeing some high-level kickboxing from Jorand. So she's aggressive on the feet. And Perez, that aggression, though, might lead her into some tough punches, some tough kicks. And she's been training, as you said in your interview with her, she talked about training with the Kings MMA, the former Shootbox Academy. They know how to rip. Well, the ladies are getting it started for us. You see them warming up. Silva taking on Meneses. Of course, Meneses from Spain, coming off the first loss of her career. That one stings. That pain can make you a better fighter. Her opponent, Maria Paz Silva, an outstanding kickboxer. It's going to be a collision in La Jaula when we return. Don't go anywhere. The ladies are coming to bring it right after this. And they are in La Jaula and ready to go. Maria Paz Silva on the left, fighting out of Chile, making her MMA debut, but don't let that fool you. 12-4 in kickboxing. Andrea Meneses from Barcelona, Spain. Her opponent coming off the first loss of her career. Problem was she had trouble getting off her butt in that fight. I don't think that'll be an issue tonight, taking on the experienced kickboxer, but it's about the changes you make in the gym. What change do you think Meneses has made since her last fight?
She told me the first thing I did is I ran and enrolled myself in a jiu-jitsu school. She's been working a lot on the ground game, and this is the perfect opponent to test out what you've learned. Right, this is, you show your evolution as a fighter inside La Jaula. You're going up against a kickboxer where you have a lot of confidence because that's your background in itself. Now you add a little bit of the salt and pepper in there. Let's go ahead and taste it. This is the opportunity right here.
And look at the head-to-head. Is it in the numbers? Similar age, similar height, exact same reach? No, it is not. It is about who brings the best game tonight. Maria Paz Silva, experienced kickboxer, making MMA debut, taking on Andrea Meneses. Beatrice, get us going.
Continuamos con mucha más acción este duelo en la división peso atom, and we continue with much more action this bout. In the atom weight division, los jueces son, the judges are Jonathan Lane, Theodore Crutcher, and Lorenzo Toledo. Y ahora, señoras y señores, llegó el momento de un combate global. In the blue corner, en la esquina azul, wearing blue, vestida de azul, su peso oficial, 106.8 libras, her official weight, 106.8 pounds. A Combat Sport veteran enters La Jaula for the first time in her professional career in MMA. Una veterana de deportes de combate entra a La Jaula por primera vez en MMA. De Temuco, Chile, Maria Paz Silva. In the red corner, en la esquina roja, vestida de amarillo, wearing yellow, detuvo la báscula con 105 libras, tipped the scale at 105 pounds, con un récord de 4 victorias y una derrota, with a record of 4 victories and 1 defeat. Fighting out of Barcelona, Spain, Andrea Cali Meneses. El referee, Tracy Moorhead.
You got your instructions in the back. Touch them up if you want. I'm not fighting.
We're ready for round number 1. Maria Paz Silva
Judges ready.
in the blue,
Judges
the kickboxer,
ready.
making her MMA debut versus Andrea Meneses
Touch them up again if you want.
from
ladies.
Spain.
Interesting enough, she
Touch
came
gloves
in with
ready to go.
with a hand in her back when shaking her hand. Telling me Basta, her father was pretty much introduced her to combat sports, starting off with that karate background.
Yeah,
Great.
her dad, an MMA pioneer in her native Chile.
Not holding anything back, Jimmy. Great on that speed with that jab, that exchange.
That's the question here, is how does Meneses deal with the pressure on the feet from Silva? Throwing punches and kicks, nothing landing yet. Paz Silva, you can tell, very relaxed with her kickboxing.
And very crisp with those shots. Ooh,
All we might
beautiful.
So we might see an early takedown from Meneses. Nothing so far. He's usually the superior striker, so she's going to have to come up with a different game plan in this one.
She's beating her match right here. So she said she's put in that work with that ground game.
And now has a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's been the focus of her camp, but
Watch out for that hook from Paz, Jimmy.
it is loopy, it is strong, and
If it lands,
you're going to sleep. And a free nap, courtesy of the kickboxer from Chile.
Great stuff to open up as a made her debut in La Jaula, not holding anything back with that striking.
You know, it's that difference that we talked about in the beginning of the show. There's fighting to win, there's fighting not to lose.
And that's what it is, yeah.
Silva right now fighting to win, and she believes she has her opponent hurt.
And then this is where Meneses, right? That experience. This is now her 6th fight now.
Yep, holding on now. She's 4-1 as a pro. Double leg, planting the kickboxer on her butt.
That's where the experience as a mixed martial artist comes into play, that work that she's put into the ground game.
Looking to pass on the weak side, the right side, where she couldn't get full guard. Got over the knee. Now into the half guard. We'll see about the guard of Perez. What can she do? I'm sorry, Silva.
Silva, yep.
Andrea Paz, of course, great kickboxer, but what has she picked up in the world of jiu-jitsu? That's the question.
And there's no timetable, Jimmy, when you make that transition as a stand-up fighter and then you start learning into jiu-jitsu. There really is no timetable to say, hey, this is when I feel that it comes in different periods or different times, I guess, for each fighter, if you want to say.
Trying for the sweep, but not able to get it.
Oh, Andrea Meneses.
Position is Meneses. Both hooks in. And that experience.
That's where it comes into play, Jimmy.
Short ground and pound here. Andrea Paz Silva has to find her way out of this position. It's going to be a long minute 45.
He's going to great hooks in there to position her. Now she got the mount.
Yeah, so they're able to turn and face, but has to keep bumping.
Ooh, there's that. That's that work she put in, Jimmy.
Much like the first fight of the night, it ended with seconds left to go in round number 2. Same referee. He will stop this fight. He doesn't care what time's left on the clock.
She's waiting for that rear naked choke. She's waiting for Paz to make that mistake to sink it in.
See if she waits. Minute 13 left. This fight went
there. It is. She's waiting for it,
to
Jimmy.
bad for Silva. Now Meneses working that ground game. BJJ blue belt starting to pay off in spades. Now that she has her opponent's back. Going to the body triangle.
Great weight, great body lock. There it is. She's waiting for that opportunity, Jimmy. And she's fighting real hard to keep those hands from coming in, but those little shots, they might not come in with much power, but it's enough to leave her chin open and sink in that rear naked choke.
Yeah, Silva desperate to survive this last 30 seconds. He's doing well until this fight went to the ground. We're seeing where she's strong and where she is weak so far. Jiu-jitsu has been her kryptonite, but 20 seconds left. You can see the bell. Remember, fight always starts on your feet.
Paz, your big mistake giving her back.
Flattened out, but is there time to get the finish?
She is heading out to those wrists, prohibiting Meneses to land any more shots from that position. There you go. She survived.
See a round number 2. It was the tale of 2 fights, Rodolfo, in round number 1.
How much, though, did it take away from Paz?
Take
a listen here in the corner.
Respira, respira, respira profundo. 3-4 veces profundo. 3-4 veces profundo. Respira.
Breathe.
Eso.
Breathe, breathe.
María arriba no tiene nada, ¿ya?
She doesn't have anything at the top.
Atenta a la contra, va a querer hacer lo mismo de nuevo.
She's going to want to do the same thing.
Solo María Paz, tienes que buscar arriba, ¿ya?
You need to work the top.
Estás conectando todo, ella es muy lenta arriba.
You're connected. She's very slow at the top.
Va a mantener distancia.
Work the distance. Keep the distance.
Haciendo de quedarte a distancia larga está bien, sacar el pie atrás.
Keep the distance, take out the leg.
Vamos arriba, María Paz. Vamos arriba, este round lo ganamos.
But you need to work the top, the striking. She has nothing on there.
A little more footwork might be necessary in round number 2 for a fighter you're seeing right now in the blue, Maria Paz Silva.
And bring down your stance a bit too. Bring it down a bit. If you bring it down to a level, that can make it a little difficult for Andrea to come in for that takedown, because easily right there you're able to sprawl.
Yeah, don't have to change levels if your opponent's tall. Maria Paz Silva on the left, in the blue from Chile. making her MMA debut, but a very experienced kickboxer. Andrea Meneses in the yellow on your left, 4-1 as a pro, coming off the first loss of her career.
Yeah, pass needs to use. Oh,
shot to the groin.
Shot to the groin area. Eey.
Look at the open scoring, no surprise.
Okay.
Andrea Meneses 10-9 over Maria Paz Silva on all 3 judges' scorecards.
No coaching.
What I'm liking here from, and as we take a look at the replay here, the shot in the mid-section. Ouch.
Okay. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay, what your gender is, that hurts.
That doesn't matter, Jimmy.
Doesn't matter.
You're going to feel it no matter what.
Yep.
But she's coming in with I would maybe just tone it down just a bit, use that jab, set it up nicely.
No coaching.
She's coming in with a lot of power. And remember, this is a 15-minute fight. You don't want to come in with all the energy right from the top. Let's take a look at that shot here right in the midsection.
Yep.
You're going to see stars with that.
Taking her time to recover. Got to wonder, of course, who this benefits. I think it probably benefits Silva a bit. Break up the momentum. Your opponent is doing great things on the ground. She's probably feeling great right now. New round, new start. Also a little break here.
Feeling better?
And also, when you commit a foul, you got to watch about doing it again. It might make you think about the leg kick, especially the inside leg kick. Seems like we are ready to go. Took about 1:20 to recover.
One warning. Careful. It kicks up.
Yeah, it's one warning.
Yeah.
No surprise there. Was not a flagrant foul. We are underway again. Round number 2.
Yeah, and that goes to show you that Paz is not working that distance, and she was able, if Andrea was able to get that kick in there.
Meneses ahead, 10-9, all 3 judges' scorecards after round number 1. Maria Paz Silva looked good on the feet.
Very good. But see, she'll come in with that hook, and then that's it. Now follow it up. Now she's going into the clinch. This is the same position that she was in the first round. Meneses feels very comfortable here. She knows that sprawling game is not there.
Thinking double leg guillotine position for Silva.
That's all you can do here, but you need to use those hips, Jimmy.
We're seeing that no commitment with the hips on this. Doing a good job of, giving Meneses something to think about. Not able to pursue the takedown, worried about the guillotine, but it takes hips to finish a guillotine, and can Silva commit to it?
Can't see it from this position. That's not nothing. Yeah, she has her chin down. But that's going to tire out Paz.
It'll burn out your arms and shoulders going for a guillotine you don't get, especially arm in.
And she has nothing, Jimmy. See how that forearm, Meneses has that chin tucked in.
Meneses still chasing the double.
Look at that slam. Now she's got caught. Yeah, that's a rookie mistake. They don't want to do that.
Right into guard. Meneses telling the referee she's all right.
Jimmy, that looks pretty tight. That looks pretty tight, Jimmy. From this position, I know she said she's okay.
Yeah,
but she does have it.
The longer you go for it, the harder it is. It looks like Paz Silva not going to get
slip
it.
Out. And it's going to just sink in here, pull it off. Sweat maybe could help.
It always does. They get harder and harder to pull off.
She's dozing off in this position from what I see here, Jimmy.
I think she's all right. Yeah, readjustment.
There you go.
It is lost.
She waited for that arm to get tired.
Silva, right?
Yep.
Good job from Meneses hanging on, staying in the fight. 2 minutes left to go in round number 2, and it's pretty much where we were in round number 1. Meneses on top, back half of the round.
Good way to recuperate from that.
Have to wonder how much Silva has left, putting so much into that guillotine.
Takes out so much. And that just shows, right? If you've been in the game, if you don't have anything, you just let go. Right. But in this position, your debut, you may think so. You start doing as much as you can, but it takes away so much energy. It's that IQ, the MMA IQ.
I tell students all the time, the only difference between blue and black in terms of technique is black belt knows when it's done.
Yeah.
And they'll switch, and they'll switch when it's not working. The blue belt will hang on to something forever and burn
hoping
out.
that it's right.
Yeah.
And that's the big mistake.
Good ground and pound from Meneses against a tired Maria Paz Silva. 1 minute left, and Silva has to flip the script. The takedown has been too easy, and once that takedown has happened, it's been all about the jiu-jitsu, the ground and pound of the Spaniard, Meneses.
You have to go back to 2020 when Andrea obtained her first TKO win in the 3rd round. Ever since then, all of her victories have been by way of decision.
In this weight class, we do see that a lot. Not a ton of power behind the strikes, but Meneses right now keeping the fight exactly where she wants it. Lost her last fight on the ground. That was a wipeout in terms of the takedown, the ground and pound. Very disappointed. Went back, worked on her ground game, worked on her jiu-jitsu, and we're seeing the fruit of that decision right now.
Yeah, Paz here, you can see that deficiency here.
10 seconds left. Excellent ground and pound from Meneses. Daniela Hernandez out-grappled her. Well, she's giving Silva some of that medicine. Question is, how does Silva stay off the mat? How does she get back into this fight, Rodolfo?
She has to use that jab and bank on that overhand. Let's listen in here to the corner of Meneses. Yeah, she just asked, that first round ours? Corner said, yep. Work the distance. Work a lot of the distance. And throwing elbows. You're doing a good fight. Last round, leave it all on the holla. Leave it all. Do it all. Oh, she's definitely sticking to what her corner, or the strategy.
It has been dominant for the first 2 rounds. We will know the score of round number 2 in a moment. We have open scoring here, Combate Global.
And you know, we talk about that open scoring. There's a good example there where she just asked her corner, hey, did I win the first one? Yeah, you did. That's awesome.
You did, and we know.
You're right.
And we're sure.
And that's great.
Maria Paz Silva from Chile in the blue on the left of your screen, making her MMA debut. Andrea Meneses from Spain on the right in the yellow. You may wonder what she's doing, making her MMA debut en la jaula and against an opponent who's 4-1. Well, she's a very experienced kickboxer. Has titles in her native Chile, but so far it's been a ground game that has favored Andrea Meneses. 2018 won the first 2 rounds on both judges' scorecards. It's finish or lose for Silva.
That's it. Do or die right now. There's no other option. You notice she's not coming in with that furiness in her hands as she did in that first and second. She's being more cautious.
She's also spent a lot of time on bottom. You know how fatiguing that is, Rodolfo. Having something on top of you, even when they're not landing ground and pound, it'll wear you out.
And now what I notice is Paz is using more feints. Wasn't doing it much in that first and second.
And Meneses, when you look at the stats, 85-43 in punches, 13-1 in kicks. But it's the takedowns, 2-0, that have been the story of this fight.
That has made the difference here tonight. And there's a feint from Paz. And at this point, you have to do things like that to throw off your opponent. Just back and forth. But I've been seeing the same movement from Paz, you know that? It's that jab, hook, jab, hook, jab, hook.
Also moving straightforward. Right into the takedown.
Yeah, it's a matter of using that jab to keep her away, keep her at bay.
Andrea Meneses now exactly where she wants to be, where she has been the majority of this fight in rounds 1 and 2. On top, landing ground and pound.
And you know, this is a good chance right here to potentially get that mount, land in those hammer fists and elbows and just call it a night.
Corner said, leave it all in la jaula.
Leave it all in the
train for
game, yep.
15 minutes, you fight for 15 minutes, give everything you have, and so far she is. Halfway through round number 3, in a fight that she has in the bag, we know it. She is not giving up, she wants that finish.
And if you stick to the game plan, there's no doubt she'll take this one home. But I'm sure she wants that stoppage. She wants to put it on her resume.
Maria Paz Silva, if she has any hope of winning this fight, has to get back to her feet. Sure, you might get caught in a submission, it's possible, but you also might get back to your feet and land the knockout, so it could be worth selling out at this point with 2 minutes left to go in round number 3, Rodolfo.
Yeah, you can see it right here, Jimmy. Good way. Those little tricks, right? Positioning the knee on her arm, on the ground. Good way of using those elbows and the shoulders to pin her to the jaula. And Paz, I mean, that right there is just the sign. When you put up those hands up, make that turtle sign that you just, I just can't get out from this.
Easy for the referee to stop the fight in that position.
Yeah.
Not that he's, Meneses is landing those kind of strikes, but it's kind of
almost like
that
a
physical
crucifix.
surrender, almost a crucifix position. Able to trap the left hand, now unloading with the left. Man, the ground game of Meneses has improved tenfold since her last fight. Daniela Hernandez had her way with Meneses on the ground. I don't know if it works out that way this time.
Night and day, Jimmy. Night and day.
They rematch now. I think it's a different fight for Hernandez right now.
Look at the referees.
Maria Paz Silva trying to stay in this fight, but running out of answers for the physical pressure of Andrea Meneses.
And now she's about to give away her back here. Meneses, good position for here to finish it off with about 30 seconds left.
See,
That's a half Nelson.
Yeah, misery on the face of
Maria
Paz Silva. Oh, nice knee to the gut.
That'll do it for you.
Well, it doesn't look like she's going to get the finish she wanted, but the dominant performance that she wanted following that disappointing loss earlier this year, she's certainly going to get that. 10 seconds left.
If she would have continued with those shots, I think the ref would have stepped in.
May have gotten a finish, but she'll have to settle for a dominant decision. As it is all over. Beautiful stuff from Andrea Meneses, taking that victory lap. Conditioning looking good, not seeming tired.
Ground game was great, takedown on point, ground and pound.
Maria Paz Silva losing her MMA debut. You see the potential. Can she make the adjustments that Meneses made and become a better fighter? That's the question, but we'll make it official and La Jaula when we return. Well, we know who won. The only question is by how much? Beatriz Callas will answer that question for us right now in La Jaula.
After 3 rounds of much more action, this is the final decision. Después de 3 vueltas de mucha más acción, esta es la decisión oficial. All 3 judges turning identical scorecards of 30 to 27. Los 3 jueces entregan tarjetas idénticas de 30 a 27. All in favor of the winner. By way of unanimous decision, todos a favor de la ganadora por decisión unánime. Andrea Meneses!
She's gotta feel good, not just about her win, not just about going to 5-1, but the improvements on the ground that allowed that win to happen. She has to feel great about that.
When they talk about mixed martial artists, right? And we're gonna go quick one. Here, 1 second here. Yep.
Bueno, en primer lugar, quería agradecer a mi entrenador Ramón,
I want to thank my trainer Ramon, who's here. He's always checking on me.
También quería agradecer a mi entrenador Uriol,
I wanted to thank my trainer.
este trabajo
Couldn't make it.
también es gracias a él. esta preparación ha sido muy dura.
This preparation has been hard.
Donde estábamos entrenando,
where we were training
ha sido mucho más costoso.
has been expensive, but thank you and love you.
Obviously feeling great about that win. Let's see how it happened. Taking on the experienced kickboxer. It was about the grappling, the takedown, the jiu-jitsu, the ground and pound. Got Meneses the win. She invested in jiu-jitsu. I'd say that investment's paid off.
Hey, it's like investing in a college degree, right? And hope you're going to get a good job. She did it here tonight. That's her degree. That's her bachelor's degree in jiu-jitsu here tonight. Your stamp of approval that makes it, when you talk to fighters, oh, I'm an all-around fighter. You're seeing it here tonight, right? You've seen that evolution of being a stand-up now, overall, a ground fighter as well.
Yeah, look at that 123 to 47 in punches, a wipeout in kicks as well. The 3 takedowns. That was the difference for Meneses over Maria Paz Silva. And we saw the building blocks for Silva as well. Great kickboxing. Can she add to that later on in her career?
I was about to say that. Yeah, she, not bad for her for debut here. Just work on that ground game. That's what's going to set you apart to be that all-around fighter. Oh,
speaking
this
of
is the one I like,
fighters,
Jimmy. I've been waiting for this.
Fighters, is that what we're looking at right now?
I'm waiting for this one, Jimmy.
It takes guts to have pink hair in this division. We're going to have a great main event. You want to see a great main event? You want to feel the energy? Come join us. Welcome back to Combate Global. We're ready for our main event. Micaias Ureña versus Carlos Briseño. 2 fighters with so much on the line. They're looking for momentum in this catchweight fight at 140 pounds. Ureña, let's get to know him a little bit better.
Empecé en el MMA porque seguía a varios peleadores, o sea, yo hacía artes marciales, quiero convertirme en el mejor peleador del mundo y para ser el mejor peleador del mundo hay que pelear artes marciales mixtas. La jaula para mí es mi casa, yo entro a la jaula y me olvido de todo y hacer mi trabajo. Prefiero pelear dependiendo cómo sea mi adversario. Soy un peleador muy versátil, un peleador rápido, pego duro. Yo sé que es un buen adversario y me emocionan las peleas así y yo sé que vamos a dar una tremenda pelea y eso es lo que yo espero, que aguantemos los 3 rounds. I am ready for this. Let's go.
Entrando a la jaula, Micaias, the Pink Ranger, Ureña.
Come on, the Pink Ranger, you gotta have confidence. Reminds me, shout out to Ofada Javier Vasquez, if you remember him, came in with the pink hat, the pink robe in Southern California, and he'd go in there and he'd whoop ass.
I'll give you even more. Jason David Frank, the late Jason David Frank, who played the Green Ranger. He came in dressed as a Ninja Turtle for an MMA fight.
Oh, come on. That's how you show guts. And right now, Ureña, full of that young confidence, right? You just feel the bravado.
It's coming in here right now. He's a young, flashy kid with a lot of confidence, but has much to prove. What's going to be the difference is the speed that he comes into the fight. Does he come in with that flashiness? Is he more composed in here? Right now, this guy is super nervous. You know, he has the butterflies. He has all that adrenaline rush. But how do you control that? That's what sets you apart coming in as you reach the level of Combate Global. He's very flashy, so you can't make any mistakes against a Briseño.
That's right. How mature can he be? That is the question, because his opponent, Briseño, mature, a lot to prove, and full of confidence.
Amo este deporte, amo los retos y me encanta la pelea. He entrenado muchísimo, sobre todo este año. He subido bastante mi nivel y estoy listo para cualquier reto. Cuando salgo, veo el público, veo la jaula, siento emoción, siento felicidad. Siento que este es lo mío, yo nací para esto.
¡Carlos!
Ya va a pasar un año que no peleo, entonces estoy súper contento, súper motivado. Feliz de estar aquí, de poder hacer mi trabajo. Yo espero pues un peleador con mucha hambre, un peleador muy fuerte. Micaias, vamos a la guerra. Yo vengo a eso, yo vengo a finalizar, matar o morir.
su oponente, Carlos Briseño.
First thing that leaps out to you when you look at this man, Carlos Briseño, en la jaula, he is a giant of a man, a very big fighter to make 140 pounds. You said he walks, it's got to be at least 170, 180.
At least 170, 180 to make that cut. And that's going to be the difference in this fight. When they walk in the jaula, we're going to be able to see when they face off the big difference in this two. But he's a durable fighter, has a strong chin. You hit him once, he'll come back with 3 or 4. And he's not going to stop. He's not as fast as Ureña, but he's just that target. He'll pick and choose where he wants to go. He has a good jab, and he knows how to use that range that he has.
Also, a very tall, kind of awkward style. It's very difficult to get his timing, and he's very, very busy. There is something in your way every time you try to come at Carlos Briseño. There's a jab, there's a foot, there is something. He's a volume kind of striker. Not a ton of power. Hasn't gotten a finish.
But consistent.
Very, very consistent. I think that's a big part of his game. He's won 4 decisions in a row. He's used to long, difficult, grueling fights. Will he have one tonight? That's the question as we look at the head-to-head. 5 years older is Carlos Briseño. They are the same height. A bit of a reach advantage for Briseño. It's about explosiveness and it's about tactical decisions early. That can tell us how this fight's gonna go. And we are underway. It's a catch weight at 140 pounds. Beatriz, get us going.
We continue with much more action. This is the main event of the evening. Continuamos con mucha más acción. Este es el duelo estelar de esta noche. Con un peso pactado de 140 libras, with a catch weight of 140 pounds. Los jueces son the judges are Eliseo Rodríguez, Jonathan Lane, and Theodore Crocker. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. In the blue corner, en la esquina azul, wearing red, vestido de rojo. Su peso oficial, 139.4 libras. His official weight, 139.4 pounds. Con un récord de 8 victorias y 3 derrotas. With a record of 8 victories and 3 losses. Representing Santo Domingo, República Dominicana, Micaias, the Pink Ranger, Ureña. In the red corner, en la esquina roja, wearing black, vestido de negro, su peso oficial, 138.6 libras, his official weight, 138.6 pounds, with 14 victories and 3 losses, con 14 victorias y 3 derrotas, de sangre mexicana from Mexico City, Carlos Briseño. El referee, Raúl Porrata.
Al centro. Obedezcan mis órdenes y protegen en todos momentos. Toquen guantes ahora. Regresen a sus esquinas.
They're underway for our main event. And that's right, Carlos Briseño from Mexico. You see him in the black trunks. His opponent, Micaias Ureña, with the pink hair and the red shorts. And we are underway, round number 1.
Right from the start, you're gonna see that Taekwondo type of stance from Micaias, but very flashy, very quick. And Briseño, that old school stand-up Mexican boxing standing.
Ureña does really well with the lead hand. Good jab, good hook. Also has excellent leg kicks from the outside. This is exactly how Briseño moves for 15 minutes in every fight. He's constantly angling.
That's that flashiness.
Getting under the kick.
Ooh,
nice
great
left
shot.
hook.
But see, Briseño hits, he has bricks in those hands, Jimmy. How much of a chin does Ureña have?
Also, as I said, Briseño used to this kind of activity level for 15 minutes. He's used to the grind.
Now, the majority of Ureña's victories have come by way of submission. He's able to take this to the floor.
Last time we saw him against Andrew Whitney, he was almost finished in that fight. If you remember, he was dropped, big ground and pound. It was the end of round number 2 and able to hang tough and come back, but he can take a shot as well.
He definitely can.
Nice leg kicks. You hear him.
Whoa, he's those type of guys that when you hit him, it's like hitting a rock. And just certain people that just have that body composure, Jimmy.
Ureña, a lot of stance switches, constantly changing that lead hand, changing the power side. Good work with the lead hand, catching Briseño coming in. That redness around the midsection of Briseño from those kicks.
And then you need to keep that left hand up. I know he's using it to set it up, but a hook from Briseño.
Very low with the lead hand.
Yep, there it is. He needs to be cautious with it. I know he's trying to be flashy and...
You know, the kids these days. Typical kids, right? Be flashy, uppercut through the center, stuff like that with the lead hand.
I don't want to keep those hands down to that under your chin against a Briseño. Ureña has he's like a moving target, right? Because he moves so fast, he switches stance quickly.
One of the questions we had would Ureña be kind of overwhelmed by the moment, fighting out of his home country for the first time, fighting in La Jaula? He looks relaxed in there, Rodolfo.
Yeah, he looks great. It's like he's been here before. Very confident. We talked about that, and he's showing it here. What happened here?
Looks like a groin shot. They were in the clinch throwing knees.
Oye, no
He asked for
coaching.
his 2 minutes.
Ahora no puedes hablar. Ponte por acá.
Well, you get 5.
Cuidado con el golpe bajo.
Right.
Okay.
I like to see that. I mean, it was too fast.
¿Está bien? Time in. A pelear.
Only needed 20 seconds.
22 seconds.
Oh, nice left hook from Ureña. Briseño in the black trunks. Ureña in the red trunks and pink hair.
Oh, great.
Calls himself the Pink Ranger. Very fast with that jab.
He said he got that name after he put up a video on social media and people started commenting on it. And he said, you know what? I'll go with it.
Go with it. Why fight
it?
And first real attempt at a takedown.
That was my favorite Pink Ranger, by the way.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Amy Jo Johnson, that was her name?
Hey, that was a little after
the original
my time.
one?
I'm a little older than you. I was a little too old for the Power Rangers back in the day. More of a Ninja Turtles guy myself. And yeah, I see you got them on your socks.
I love them.
Ureña able to get back to the center. No real commitment on the takedown from Briseño. No surprise there. We see, last time out in La Jaula, we see he can get the takedown, Briseño, but he just has to come to him. He doesn't really, change levels and really commit to it.
No, and
good movement from Ureña.
Yeah, just that quick action.
Nice
great
right hand over the top.
Oh!
Starting to find a home for his power punches is Ureña.
Ureña is getting Briseño frustrated. He's making him swing with a lot of power on purpose. Good technique.
Briseño, though, not backing up.
Yeah, good strategy on Ureña on that.
He's been cracked. He's trying to keep the physical pressure. Another good right hand.
He's tagged him a good 3-4 times on that chin. And now Briseño's just coming in with everything. It's almost like he left his back leg there when he threw those shots. It's getting a little wild. See? Coming in at...
Yeah, winging big punches.
And that takes a lot of gas, a lot of energy, and you leave yourself open.
Good angle from Ureña. Not allowing Briseño to keep him up against the fence.
Yeah, but good way of Ureña, man.
10 seconds left in round number 1. Who will put their stamp on what has been a frantic and close first round. And they finish swinging.
Allí que es la tuya.
Vamos, respira primero.
Cuando te la piso el muslo.
Sí, respira profundo. Estás limpio, cabrón, estás limpio. Respira profundo. Te quiero el mentón abajo, ¿vale? El mentón abajo. Golpes curvos, Carlos. Párame, no se abate.
No intercambies de repente demasiado. Tomas el agua cuando tú quieras. Tomas el agua cuando tú quieras. Ciérrate. Quiero los guantes. Quiero que utilices más el sabate, que le cortes las combinaciones. Ya
está llegando mi sabate.
Es solamente cuando él los venda, cuando quiera tirar demasiadas combinaciones largas. Tira golpes curvos.
El cabeceo y las manos.
Cabeceo, manos curvas. Ya un golpe, de a dos, máximo 2 golpes. Un golpe cuando te pegue el lado.
Oye, ven acá. Los dos. No quiero ver golpes bajos. Ok. Esta es la advertencia. Ok, cuidado con los golpes bajos. Vaya.
Carlos Briseño ready to begin round number 2. Little instruction from the referee. What was that?
He says be careful with the low shots.
There was one.
There was just one,
that we're aware
unless we missed one. But I will tell you from Carlos Briseño, he says, hey, you're clean. He hasn't hit you. Just stop that flurry of punches. Stop those combinations. That's what you need to do against Ureña. That was kind of awkward. I only saw one throwing shot.
Ureña in the red trunks and pink hair. Nickname is the Pink Ranger, 8-3 as a pro. His opponent, Carlos Briseño from Mexico City in the black trunks, 14-3.
One thing
and Ureña, I'm a little surprised. Briseño ahead on 2 judges' scorecards.
Whoa.
I thought Ureña won round number 1 on my scorecard.
I would agree with you with that, Jimmy.
Well, we have open scoring here in Combate Global, so Ureña's team will know he's got to change something up, do something a little different, maybe start a little faster.
Well, Briseño's
good job with the body kick.
Yeah, Briseño's corner told him do a lot of head movement. And it's right, he's taking those shots or those combinations.
Now, one thing to keep in mind is that Ureña did get hot with those power punches, but that was late in the fight. Maybe just has to start a little bit earlier. Because Briseño is always going to be busy. He's always going to move a lot.
He's very consistent. Never count him out.
Beautiful leg kicks from Ureña. Big part of his offense. Good straight right hand. Briseño, to your point, those wide punches are leaving him vulnerable.
Leaving him very. A nice uppercut. Or those, you know, I haven't seen, I think only once we saw the kicks from Ureña, and he has some flashy kicks that if he has the right timing, that could be it. Using those low kicks there to set something up.
But it seems when it comes to the initiation, it's been mostly Ureña and Briseño trying to counter, and look at the stats. Briseño ahead in punches and kicks.
Oh, there's that flashy kick, yeah.
Oh, right into the triangle.
Now, he does have, the majority of his victories have been by way of submission, Jimmy.
Ureña trying to get something done from his back. Briseño, first takedown of the fight.
Let's see what Briseño here. He does have that weight advantage right now.
Good fighter will make you feel every single ounce.
Just lay on you.
Yep, work on that fatiguing Ureña. Was very, very quick. An opportunity to pass to his left side. Good job by Ureña getting his guard back.
I must say, though, those low kicks Ureña has been doing on Briseño have worked. He does have a little redness in that left leg of his. Right there on the quad area and the calf for Briseño. Good way of Ureña blocking him from going inside of control.
Yeah, did a good job of keeping guard, but hasn't tried to do much offensively.
Cuidado con los ojos.
The referee's getting close to standing this one up.
Yeah, he told him to be careful with the eyes.
Más acción.
Asking for more action. And there we go.
Good job from Ureña getting back to his feet.
That's that quickness.
But he has to make up some time. Minute 20 left in round number 2. Good right hand from Ureña.
It almost seems like it comes like an open hand, right? But it's not, right? He has it closed.
It is crisp. It is a sharp right hand.
But it doesn't seem with the overhand right like that's a turn. It's more like an open, like a Nick Diaz type of.
Yeah, not quite turning it over. Right. Briseño still unafraid. You talk about that Mexican-style warrior. I'll take one, I'll take two, I'll take three to get in and land my shot. Briseño willing to walk through the fire so far in this fight.
Fighting like a Mexican, but we can't take anything away from the Dominicans. So many great boxers have come out. Tito Trinidad just comes to mind right now. So many, a laundry list. Talented athletes that competed from the island.
And I was a bit surprised the judges, two of them, gave Briseño round number 1. Ureña fighting from behind the 8 ball here. 15 seconds left to go in round number 2.
You never leave it to the judges, Jimmy, no matter how confident you are, you're thinking that you're winning.
Closing seconds of round number 2. Did Briseño do enough to win another round? We'll find out.
Seguir ganando por puntos. Estamos haciendo un trabajo increíble. Respira, respira. No me diga nada. Estamos haciendo un buen trabajo. Bebe agua. Vamos a seguir metiendo los puntos. Quiero más golpes lineales, no me tire golpes curvos. ¿Me entiendes? Él te está entrando algunos ya viejos porque tú estás tirando golpes curvos. Cierra la distancia con el golpe curvo, con el golpe lineal avanzando, el jab. ¿Me entiendes? Para que él te entregue después la mano derecha. Vamos a seguir moviéndonos, trabajando. Cuando tú ves que él avance con un paso, sube la guardia, aprieta el mofi y métele la 1. ¿Me entiendes? Que tiene la pierna muerta. Vamos a ganar este último round también.
Es mucho. Encímatele todo, encímatele, que no se acomode. Encímatele.
Listo. ¡Acción!
We're ready, round number 3. Micaias Ureña in the red trunks and pink hair versus Carlos Briseño. Briseño winning round number 1, getting a takedown in round number 2. Was it enough? Ureña has been finding a home for that power shot, that right hand, but the judges are giving enough credit for it.
What I found interesting in between rounds, the corner of Ureña told, hey, we're winning. We're winning this fight already.
We have open scoring. They should know what the scorecard is.
That could be a mind game, right? To get us confident. But he said, use the jab. His leg is dead. Just keep attacking the leg. Keep on working the distance. Keep the distance and the jab.
The problem is the leg kicks, they've been effective. They've been landing with a thud. You see the marks on the left leg of Briseño, but he keeps moving. Keeps using that left leg. He hasn't slowed down substantially because of that leg kick.
Because the same way he walked in and moved around that first round, the same thing he's doing right now.
And 2 judges gave Ureña the last round. Whoa. So if Ureña wins this last round or Briseño, it's over. It's all about this 3rd round, which I like.
Right.
I would have switched it over. I thought Ureña probably won round number 1, maybe lost round number 2.
Yeah.
But whatever. We're in the right place now.
We're there. We are there. So this is all for the marbles right here, this 3rd round. Who's going to bring? Oh, great shot. Yeah.
Briseño answering back with a left of his own.
Oh, he cut him open on that left eye.
Ureña now seeing blood. Will make the young, brash fighter from the
that jab.
Yep, that's right. We'll make the young, brash fighter from the Dominican Republic go for the kill.
Ureña's feeling a lot more confident once he saw that blood. He feels he has this fight in the pocket.
Oh, Briseño
can't get too cocky.
Going away. You want to fight a Mexican? You better take their head off in there.
And that's another thing the corner advised them. Keep your hand up when you're getting close to Briseño because he's going to come at you.
The Pink Ranger, we are halfway through round number 3. Can he pick it up?
It's Mighty Morphin time.
In the fight. Mighty Morphin time. You see the numbers getting closer and closer. Briseño 88 to Ureña 72 when it comes to the punches. An advantage in kicks as well. Briseño getting that 1 takedown.
And he's calling him up. You saw him, Briseño calling in Ureña.
Yeah, he always does. This is a man who does not mind a war. Now going in for the takedown. We get one, could ice it, but no. Ureña doing a good job angling off La Jaula, not getting caught against the fence. He wants this front and center.
One thing that the corner so mentions, like, we're winning by points, but do you want to say, finish it? Don't tell me when to win by points.
Facing a guy with a head like a rock in Briseño.
Oh,
unbelievably strong, able to take a lot of damage. Ureña going for broke with the head kick. Good job blocking it.
Yeah.
For Briseño.
Great time of putting up the hand up.
Oh, sweat coming off the arm.
Corner of Briseño says, get violent.
He's like, what else do I have to do? It's been a violent fight so far.
No, but
it could belong to whoever's aggressive in this last minute of this last round.
But what I've been seeing with Briseño, we've been seeing the same thing.
Yeah,
right?
same pacing.
Jab, same pace, same movements. Ureña will flip it around sometimes. See, you're coming in with that.
With 45 seconds left in round number 3. Who will turn it up? Who will leave the impression with the judges? That is the question. Ureña fighting for the first time in the United States, first time in La Jaula, first time out of the Dominican Republic. Giving a good accounting of himself, but will it be enough?
Get a takedown, you win it.
Will he be able to draw? Good right hand.
But
they're now trading leather. Briseño coming in, rocking Ureña with a beautiful flying knee.
That's what I told you. This guy has a lot of stamina. He has a strong chin.
Briseño has rocks in his head. 10 seconds left. What has been an outstanding fight.
Nice elbows. Sneaking it in there.
Going all the way to the bell.
Beautiful.
No surprise there.
Wow. That right there just has to impress the judges, right? The ending to it.
Incredible activity. Ureña showing he came to win. Was it enough? We'll find out when we come back to Combate Global. Well, it has been a war in our main event. How did the judges see it? We're about to find out. Beatrice, take it away.
More action. This is the final decision. Después de 3 vueltas de mucha más acción, esta es la decisión oficial. Los jueces Jonathan Lane y Theodore Crutcher anotan 29-28 a favor de Micaias Ureña. Y el juez Eliseo Rodríguez anota 30-27, all in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Todos a favor del ganador por decisión unánime. Micaias Ureña!
A unanimous decision win for the Pink Ranger, Micaias Ureña. Great composure, accurate with the right hand. Showed a lot of skills for a young man just getting his career started in La Jaula.
I like the kid. Just take a look at some of the action here and not afraid to hold anything back. He'll show you what he's all about. Very flashy, going toe-to-toe against a strong Carlos Briseño. He threw everything in the kitchen sink. The guy just wouldn't go down. He adjusted during that second round. He threw everything right there, Jimmy, with that right hand. And then towards the end of the round, I think that's really what opened up the eyes for the judges, landing in that flashiness of the knees and the kicks and the elbows. Rightfully so, getting that victory for the first time inside La Jaula for the Pink Ranger.
Briseño disappointed, had a great fight. We'll see him again soon. A fantastic performance from both men. Let's see what the stats say. 112 to 190 for Carlos Briseño. Also landed 16 more kicks. I think it was the accuracy and the power. Some of the sharper punches came from Ureña throughout that fight.
They were more effective, more precise, and they look pretty. That makes a big change, a big difference to the eyes of the judges.
Briseño had won his last 4 by decision. Didn't really have the juice behind his punches. Had the numbers, didn't quite have the power to sway the judges in this fight. Also the cut around the left eye. We have more to come. It is the ladies in our co-main event. That's right, Perez, Jade Jorand, the kickboxer from France, versus Perez. Welcome back inside Univision Studios, our co-main event, Katie Perez versus Jade Jorand. Both fighters a ton of momentum. They are feeling good about where they are in their careers, but they face off tonight with so much on the line. Let's get to know both fighters.
Training and fighting gave me purpose, gave me drive, gave me something to fight for, gave me the ability to love and fight for myself as well. I am Katie Maquina Asesina Perez. I'm 30 years old and I fight out of Greensboro, North Carolina.
With fighting, I've learned that I'm stronger than I thought. I'm fighting because it's my life and it's the only thing I love doing. I am Jade Jorand, I'm 22 years old and I come from France.
Our game plan, if it is one, is the same for every fight. Do what I'm good at, make it work.
My opponent is a very good fighter. She comes from jiu-jitsu. It's going to be a great fight.
What you're going to see different from me this time, smoother transitions are going to come about because my commitment is just going to be there.
When I go to fight, I'm only thinking that I want to destroy my opponent.
Jade, let's have an awesome banger of a fight.
Katy, tonight is going to be a tough fight, but I'm going to win.
Entrando a la jaula, Katie, la máquina asesina, Perez!
Last time we saw Katie Perez inside La Jaula, it was against Stephanie Russo, and she fought like her career depended on it. She was 3-4 going into that fight, and you and I discussed it, that the storyline was, look, 3-4, you start wondering, all right, am I really going to do this for a living? She came out there not as though she had nothing to lose, but that she had everything to gain. Got a TKO, she was tenacious, she was aggressive, great ground and pound. She's feeling the momentum heading into this fight.
There's nothing that she could take from that. She just carries on with the momentum. She knows she has that stoppage opportunity. She did it against Russo. It was the first one in her pro career. Yeah. So here we are, carry on to the momentum. You know what the flaws of Jade Jorand is, the ground game. She's been submitted here against Gloria Bravo. Why not carry on? This is your great opportunity for Katie, but yeah, right. This lady always brings it, and when you put these two together, it's big for a fun fight.
Well, she's intense, she's ready to go. Her opponent better be ready as well. Beatrice, bring her in.
Su oponente, Jade Jorand!
Don't let the pretty face fool you. Don't let the soft voice fool you. She's a very experienced kickboxer in her native France. She started out 0-2 though in her MMA career. Guess what? She's won 3 in a row. Last one in La Jaula was almost all on the feet against Irene Cabello. That was a kickboxing match in MMA gloves. She was outstanding.
Outstanding. But after that loss that she had against Gloria Bravo, we started seeing that she made some improvement to her ground game. The takedowns defense was there. And she's going to need it here against Katie Perez because the majority of Katie Perez's victories have been by way of submission. So that's the recipe here for Perez. Jorand just needs to keep her at bay, prevent her from coming in for any of those takedowns.
And Jade Jorand, the younger fighter by 8 years, 2 inches taller, reach advantage a little over 2.5 inches. They weighed in exactly the same. The tactics will be ahead. That's the question. Beatrice, get us started.
We continue with much more action. This is the co-main event of the evening. Continuamos con mucha más acción. Este es el duelo coestelar de esta noche, con un peso pactado de 110 libras at a cash weight of 110 pounds. Los jueces son the judges are Lorenzo Toledo, Eliseo Rodríguez y Jonathan Lane. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un Combate Global. In the blue corner, en la esquina azul, vestida de negro, wearing black. Su peso oficial, 109.8 libras. Her official weight, 109.8 pounds. With a pro record of 4 victories and 4 losses. Con un récord profesional de 4 victorias y 4 derrotas. From Greensboro, North Carolina, Katie, la máquina asesina, Perez. En la esquina roja, in the red corner, wearing white, vestida de blanco, su peso oficial 109.8 libras, her official weight 109.8 pounds, with a record of 3 victories and 2 losses, con un récord de 3 victorias y 2 derrotas. Fighting out of Bordeaux, France, Jade Jorand. El referee, Raúl Borrata.
Time. I expect a clean fight. Dutch gloves now if you wish. Back to your corners.
We are ready for our final fight, our co-main event of the evening. Katie Perez in the black and also half hair is an easy way to figure it out. Against Jade Jorand in the blue and white, we are underway.
Right from the start, Jade Jorand does not hold back. She's a quick, fast-paced type of a fighter. And Katie, well, she'll follow right back.
Katie Perez is one of those people who you can tell she loves her job.
Yeah, she does.
She loves doing this, loves mixing it up.
Smiles when she gets hit.
Win or lose, every time she goes in there, she loves mixing it up.
And she's a fan of Combate Global. Like,
yeah,
not just like a fighter. She loves to watch Combate Global. When she's not fighting, she's tuning in.
Jade Jorand, though, very fast hands, very good with the straight punches, very good at keeping her opponent at a distance. Masterful job with the range her last time out against Irene Cabello.
A little redness though coming out of Jade on the right by the nose area.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's just fast. She's very quick.
You can tell when it lands because Perez nods like, good one. He lets the judges know.
And there it is. He attempted that takedown. Jade knows better though. When she took on Gloria Bravo, Jimmy, it's a very similar style of Katie where she has the stand-up, but pretty good ground game.
That's certainly her ace in the hole in this fight. One thing you got to look for is, how much energy do you make an opponent expend trying to take you down? And let them take you down easy. Might get taken down. Make sure they spend energy on it. So far, good balance from Jade Jorand.
And it shows, too, the evolution of the fighter in Jade Jorand. She was training at King's MMA, as she told me. So she wants to venture out, right? Get some different tips and different knowledge from different camps.
King's MMA, of course. Shoot the box camp, right? The coaches from there, aggressive with the stand-up.
Kevin Gastelum train out there.
Right. Also trains with Fabricio Verdum's camp in Southern California. Former UFC heavyweight champion, world champion in jiu-jitsu.
Katie, though, desperately trying to take Jade down.
So far, the French kickboxer able to stay on her feet. Scrambling, ended up on top. Beautiful move. Hips forward at exactly the right time.
I was about to say, great positioning of the body there, making it very difficult for Perez to have anything out of that position.
One thing about Perez's style is so tenacious, right? She goes for something, just keeps going for it. Like a dog with a frisbee, Katie Perez, brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Says I'm not much of a game planner. I work on my own skills. I let my coaches do the game planning.
And I work and just do what I'm best at. Fireman's kick? No.
Very dangerous. Yeah. Almost kind of a low single leg position. Katie Perez right now having no respect.
Now we got
the submission game of Jorand. She was going for some takedowns that the submission specialists make you pay in. She wasn't worried about that. Finally getting the takedown, ending up inside control.
So let's see how much of that groundwork she's done for Jade. Because Perez here has the advantage. Great way of pinning that arm.
A bit of a crucifix position.
Yep. It's almost like the second one we've seen here tonight. Yeah, this is Katie's game plan right here. This is where she wants Jade. And for Jade, it's frustrating. She wants to be that kickboxer and keep that fight standing.
You got to earn it in MMA. Your opponent takes you down, gets you inside control, earn that space, get out, and then you can get back to the kickboxing, but it's easier said than done.
Oh, she's about to hit the mount. There it is, Jimmy.
Katie Perez.
And look at that arm right there, Jimmy.
Yep.
Look at the arm.
Got it trapped. Trying to work her ground and pound. Jade Jorand going for that desperation stand-up.
Good way
Be
for
careful
Jade.
not to give her back.
Oh, good position for Katie here for work. Some of the ground and pound.
Jade Jorand able to face back, get into half guard. 30 seconds left to go in round number 1.
Yeah, Katie just needs to put that nose right here and finish it off. So going into the second round, you're going to start it off with a stand-up. There it is.
There, 14 seconds left to go in round number 1.
Living up to the name, La Máquina Asesina.
Jade Jorand desperate for the escape, and Katie Perez busy till the final bell of round
1. Ça pompe, hein. Ça pompe d'amener au sol. Ok, donc tu gardes ton travail debout, tu relâches, tu te déplaces, tu sais qu'elle va attendre juste le moment pour rentrer. Ok, donc là tu vas travailler tout pareil et tu vas lui envoyer un high kick. Ok, tu vas préparer, tu vas décaler, tu vas envoyer ton high kick. Tout ce qu'elle veut, c'est ça, c'est coller dans la cage, t'amener au sol. Ok, on est bon? Ok, c'est bien, c'est très bien. Juste, t'as vu, elle t'empêche de rentrer le underhook. Utilise tes hanches pour mettre ton underhook. Colle ta tête à elle. Ok, faut pas qu'elle puisse mettre des crochets sur tes jambes. On est bon? Encore? C'est bon? Allez, fais ta distance, ça va être ton exercice, ton genou. Elle veut coller en haut pour aller dans la cage. Dans la cage, tente avant, coller à la cage. Allez, on y est.
Ready, ready, action!
Now we begin round number 2. Jade Jorand, the French kickboxer, in blue and white versus Katie Perez in the black. Katie Perez able to get full mount. The end of round number 1. Vicious ground and pound, but Jade Jorand able to see round number 2, and it always starts on the feet.
It sure does, but how much did Jade lose in that position on the ground? The energy. I know she has a lot of stamina, but let's see how she turns out in the second round.
No surprise how the judges saw it. 10-9, Katie Perez. All 3 judges' scorecards give the first round 10-9, but those outside takedowns from long distance aren't going to do it.
Very careful with Jade. Great sprawl on her end. Great body shot. Katie just walked into that.
Go, Katie.
Jade Jorand starting over. Kickboxing stance. She's a champion in her native France. Also has gold on the European circuit of kickboxing.
Good way of Jade here adjusting. She's reading Katie when she's going to come in, and she's landing in those shots that are targeting her head, and it's good timing there for Katie. Needs to finish off that takedown.
Yeah, Katie Perez diving in on the single leg.
It cost her though, Jimmy. She did get hit a couple of times.
Yeah, but if it's worth it, if she can get the takedown here. Jade Jorand so far not making it easy. Pushing on the head, landing some short punches.
You know, and at what point here do you let that leg go? You know, you're pushing, but do you have it? Do you invest in it?
And a little inexperience there from Jade Jorand. I thought she had the opportunity to circle out and get away.
The back, yep.
Didn't take it. Now stuck defending again, using the whizzer. Right in front of her corner. Sorry, I didn't understand the corner instructions. My French is not great.
Yeah, all I know is we parlez-vous français. Sorry.
Good,
and wine.
Good stuff. You can order some food. That's about it. Jade Jorand, though, still staying on her feet, defending the takedown from Katie Perez, who has to be full of confidence after round number 1 went her way.
But she's
not sprawl from Jade Jorand.
Very good. Yeah, Katie's not quitting on that though.
Doggedly pursuing the takedown.
An awkward position here though.
Almost a fireman's carry. If she can get it done, couldn't quite do it.
That's another move that's very difficult to do in MMA. And even if you finish that fireman's carry, you quickly have to grab your opponent to do something with it.
Nice short shot again from Jade Jorand on the body lock.
Once again stopped. Good adjustment from Jade.
Good adjustment, not able to get away from the howler, right? Since the opening of this round, it's been mostly against the fence.
That clinch work where Katie wants her, so she's able to take the energy out and change the levels and take the fight to the ground.
Work! You know, thinking about Katie Perez's style is not overly technical. Worker, I'll take a point. I don't know who the ref's talking to with that instruction. Both fighters are working pretty hard from what I'm seeing. Jade Jorand trying to defend the takedown. Good job.
That backfired. Good way of using those hooks.
As I was about to say, Katie Perez's style isn't overly technical, just tenacious. She grabs you, she doesn't let go.
She's a go-getter. And look at Jade putting that little...
working the face a bit.
Yeah, little dirty stuff there going on there.
It's illegal if you stay away from the eyes. Referee said stay away from the eyes. She did.
That's it. Yeah, 56 seconds to go. Katie has not had that takedown in this round whatsoever.
Yeah, not yet. Good defense so far from Jade Jorand. Right here, she's got to circle off the fence and create space. Finally able to get it. And now unloading on Katie Perez.
Katie does not want to go in a strike fest here.
Nice timing on the double leg.
Yeah, I'll give it to Katie, man. She takes a lot, and then anything for that takedown. It costs her.
Now thinking Kimura trap. What an accomplishment that would be for the French kickboxer to roll into a Kimura. Caro Parisian style, for those who remember him. That was his preferred move, yep.
10 seconds.
10 seconds left to go. And if I were Jade Jorand able to stay on her feet, more to come in round number 3.
Break.
By just standing there, the same shit that we've been talking about. You're not moving her. Make sense? What are you going to do this round?
Shoot underneath my legs.
The lateral, be in her face the whole time, makes sense. You're backing up every time she hits you. Okay? Use that stupid hard head of yours. Make sense? Listen. Stop being defeated because of one punch. Get in her face. Don't let her breathe. Make sense? It's 1-1. It's up to you what happens. It's in here. Stop doubting yourself.
Ready? Ready? Acción!
In between rounds, Katie Perez's corner said it is 1-1. I heartily agree. Katie Perez in the black, Jade Jorand, the French kickboxer, in the blue, and whoa, what an uppercut. Vicious combinations from Jade Jorand.
But that speech he gave her, in a little Leon Edwards type there.
Yep.
Motivation nonetheless. That she went down on her knee there, Jimmy, because of that shot. I think something's wrong with her.
Yeah, turning away. She is hurt for sure. And Jade Jorand not letting Katie Perez off the hook. And her coach was correct. It is 1-1, 19 all.
Right on point. That's that open scoring.
And Jade Jorand trying to stuff the head of this single leg.
But how much of it do you invest, Jimmy, at this point in this fight?
Jade Jorand cannot get taken down. That was the death knell in round number 1. A wipeout for Katie Perez in round number 2. Jade Jorand not falling for it. Able to make this a kickboxing match. Look at the numbers. Jade Jorand 78 punches to Perez's 46. Also leading in kicks. But Perez, 2 takedowns. And one in round number 1.
And Jade has what we have to do, just trip that right leg, left leg. She's she's bowing down, just bowing down, but she doesn't have the power right now.
Yeah, chasing that far leg, and every time she goes for it, she's eating those short strikes.
And she's desperately searching. Oh no. So what does Katie do in this position here? The energy's not there. Jade can capitalize on this. And she has her body right there pinned to the howler.
That's right, butterfly guard, butterfly half guard. Jade Jorand on the feet. She's been relentless. I don't expect anything different when it comes to the ground and pound.
Very good.
Woman who started out 0-2 in her MMA career, finished in both of them. And she's won 3 straight, looking to make it 4 tonight at the expense of Katie Perez.
It's great to see those stories. How you start off with a couple of defeats and you end up just changing it around.
Yeah, you can right the ship and have a great career. Oh, good, Katie Perez get the reversal and the takedown.
Katie she doesn't have it. Yeah.
But
she has a lot of grit, a lot of gut.
Yeah.
I mean, she is relentless. She will take it to the end.
Rolling underneath, ending up in what we call a deep half guard position. Jade Jorand, good balance. Trying to free that left
leg.
foot.
Yeah, there it is.
Does that, she's getting up in side control.
Oh, she's trying to get.
Excellent job. Now in the traditional half guard. Half guard from bottom. Hard to use in MMA.
Very hard to use. And now Katie trying to wrap that leg above. But what's difficult for her is, and that's the mom there of Jade.
She has reason to be happy right now. Jade Jorand unloading.
She may get that stop.
Short elbows and forearms. Relentless with the grounded pound. Katie Perez right now hanging on for dear life.
Jamie, that TKO is just inches away.
Are you looking for it tonight?
This is it, but look at Katie not giving up. She's looking for something.
Trying to set up the triangle so you can free that leg.
And as the arm, Jade, good way of keeping those hands together.
You go 40
Good job staying square.
Yep.
Never want one arm in and one arm out.
She's desperately searching for it. Kudos to Katie.
Good sprawl from Jade Jorand right at the end.
Very nicely done. I mean, these women are bringing it, man. Katie just has a lot of heart, man. She has a lot of heart.
Dogged determination.
Oh, man.
But is it enough to overcome the technique of Jade Jorand, the kickboxer from France?
This is all out war.
This is her wheelhouse on the feet. And she is looking for the finish till the final bell.
Wow. Oh, man. That is awesome.
Head kick, exclamation point at the end. The fire from Jade Jorand. In a fight that she believes she has won for sure. But we will find out when we come back who came out on top. Don't go anywhere. We are back. It was a war just how we expected. Beatrice, end the suspense.
After 3 rounds of much more action, the scorecard reads as follows. Después de 3 vueltas de mucha más acción, esta es la decisión oficial. All 3 judges turn in identical scorecards of 29-28. Los 3 jueces entregan tarjetas idénticas de 29-28. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Todos a favor de la ganadora por decisión unánime. The Princess, Jorand!
It is 4 in a row for the kickboxer from France. Future is looking bright in her MMA career. More to go when we come back. Well, some nights have a little bit of everything. Tonight had a lot of everything. Action, comebacks, blood, a little bit of controversy in a couple of the rounds. Performance of the night for you, Rodolfo, who is it?
Lewis Mourdoch. Keep your eyes on that guy. That guy's a stud.
Well, it's a bold call for Jimmy Smith, Rodolfo Roman, everybody backstage, Campbell McLaren. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time in La Jaula.